Story 1. I'm Caleb, 32. I live just outside Olympia, Washington. Pretty normal life, nothing dramatic. I used to work IT at a local hospital, part-time fixer for people's busted laptops on the side. This happened last fall, I think. Maybe October? The timeline's kinda fuzzy, honestly. Anyway, I've always liked yard sales. Not for treasure hunting or flipping or anything. Just something about going through people's junk. It's weirdly intimate, you know, like a glimpse into how someone used to live. So one Saturday, I went solo to this community yard sale. It was in an older neighborhood across town, wooded, quiet, where half the houses look like time stopped in the 70s. I didn't plan to buy anything. I was just killing time. There was this one house at the end of a cul-de-sac. Older lady sitting in a lawn chair, not really paying attention. No sign, no prices, no labels. I almost walked past, but something about the stuff on the tarp caught my eye. There were maybe 10 VHS tapes, no cases, just hand-labeled in shaky black marker. I remember one of them just said 9/18/95. Another had a name, For Sarah. The handwriting was weirdly neat, like block letters from someone trying too hard to make it legible. I asked the lady how much, and she didn't even look up. Just waved her hand like, take it. So I grabbed a couple, paid $1. That's it. No spooky energy, no weird vibes, just curiosity. But I wish I'd left them there. I don't have a VCR, obviously. But I have this all-in-one converter thing I use for digitizing old family tapes for clients. It's clunky, but it works. That night, I popped the tape labeled For Sarah into the converter just to see. The screen was black for a while. No sound. I thought maybe it was busted. Then it flickered, like someone hit play and fast forward at the same time. Choppy static. Then this shot of a living room. Brown carpet. Lamp with those stringy fringe things. A couch that looked like it had cigarette burns. There was a man sitting on the couch. Middle-aged, bald. He looked exhausted. He was staring at the camera, not talking, just staring. You could hear this faint sound in the background, like an old refrigerator or something clicking on and off. Then he said, "Sarah, if you're watching this, I'm sorry." That's it. Just once. Then, silence again. I watched for like 10 minutes, but nothing else happened. Just static. Him sitting there, the occasional flicker. Then the screen cut to black. But it didn't end. The counter kept going. I let it run, thinking maybe something else was coming. About 15 minutes later, there was another flicker. Same man. This time in what looked like a basement. It was darker. The only light was from a single hanging bulb, swinging like someone had just bumped it. The man's eyes were swollen, like he'd been crying or hadn't slept in days. He said quieter this time, "I did what I had to." That's it. Again. I should have stopped watching, but something about it hooked me. Like, maybe this guy was documenting a breakdown? I don't know. Maybe he was some kind of survivalist recording messages before something awful. But it didn't feel performative. It felt private, like I wasn't supposed to be watching. The next scene, God. This one still messes with me. It cuts to a camera on the floor, facing up. You can see the man, just his legs and torso. He's dragging something wrapped in what looks like a bedsheet. It's limp, heavy, no sound, no music, no dramatic lighting. Just a thump every time he pulled. Then he stops, looks at the camera for the first time, like he forgot it was even there. And I swear, I know this sounds crazy, but I think he says my name. Caleb. Real quiet, like testing the word. And I know it's probably not what he said. Could have been table, or wait up, or literally anything. But it sounded like my name. That's when I turned it off. I couldn't sleep that night. Every time the heater kicked on, I thought it was that dragging sound. I kept imagining the guy, his swollen eyes, the way he looked at the camera, like it betrayed him. I told myself it was just an old tape. Coincidence. Some creepy home movie that someone labeled weirdly. People make dumb stuff all the time, right? Next morning, I went to throw the tapes away, but they weren't where I left them. Now, I know this part sounds made up, but I swear I left them on the kitchen counter. I remember placing them there because I didn't want them near my setup anymore. But the tapes were gone. Whole stack. Nowhere. I checked every drawer. Trash. Under the couch. Even the damn fridge, just in case I was losing my mind. 2 days later, I got a voicemail. Blocked number. Just static. Same fridge-like hum from the tape. I listened to it maybe 10 times, trying to pick out words, but there was nothing. Just noise. I deleted it. Week after that, I started noticing weird things on my street. Same red car parked across the road every night. Lights flickering in my hallway, even though I replaced the bulbs. I'm not saying it's connected. Could be my head playing games. But then my cat disappeared. And yeah, maybe that's unrelated too. Maybe he got out. Maybe someone took him. But I started connecting things. I couldn't help it. The dragging, the wrapped sheet, the name, the hum. That man looking dead inside. I moved 2 months later. Different city. Threw out the converter, changed my number, stopped buying people's crap at yard sales. Sometimes at night, I still hear that hum. Not loud, just enough to make me check the thermostat, or the fuse box, or the walls, and sometimes, this is the part I never say out loud, sometimes I feel like someone's watching me watch, like I'm the one being observed now. I've checked my house, top to bottom, never found a camera, never found another tape. But once, I opened the hall closet and found a folded bedsheet. Old, smelled like mildew, and under it, just for a second, I thought I saw handwriting. But when I looked again, it was gone. Story 2. I'm Marcus. I'm 35, from a small town in Tennessee called Tullahoma. Not the kind of place where stuff like this happens. People mow their lawns. They nod at each other. Real, quiet Sunday afternoon energy, you know? This happened around last summer, or spring. I don't know anymore. I keep mixing it up with other stuff. I just remember it was humid and I was sweating like hell in my garage. I'd been helping clean out my mom's place after she passed. Not sudden. She'd been sick a while. Still sucked, though. I was her only kid, and I moved back home to take care of things. The house was full of stuff she never threw away. Stacks of boxes from the 80s, busted lamps, random ceramic frogs for some reason. I figured I'd sell most of it. My buddy Jackson told me to just have a yard sale. People buy the dumbest crap, he said. Old people love junk. So I set one up. Saturday morning, folding tables, cardboard signs, the whole thing. Around 10 a.m., this white sedan pulls up. I remember it because it didn't have plates. Just a temp tag taped inside the window. Guy gets out, middle-aged, looked like a preacher but not clean-cut. Real tall, long arms, bad posture. He had a weird stare, not angry, not friendly, just still. He didn't look at the tables, didn't browse or talk. He walked straight past everything and pointed to a box of old books I hadn't even unpacked yet. Just pointed. I asked him, "You looking for something in particular?" He said, exact words, "The red one. It's mine." Which, okay, that meant nothing to me. But when I opened the box, there was a red book. Like a cheap diary, the kind with the fake leather cover. No title, just faded maroon. I asked if he lost it, and he said again, "It's mine." I handed it to him. Figured, whatever. Free book, less junk for me. But here's where it gets weird. As he took it, I noticed the back of his hand. It was covered in writing. Not tattoos, handwritten stuff. Tiny black letters all over his skin. Mostly numbers and dates. Like someone had scribbled appointment reminders or something. But they went all the way up under his sleeve. Even his neck had faint ink lines. He saw me looking and pulled his sleeve down. Didn't say anything else. Just turned and left. No thank you, no money, no nothing. The whole thing was maybe 3 minutes long. I wouldn't have thought about it again if the book hadn't shown back up. 2 days later, it was sitting on my kitchen table. And I don't mean I found a copy. I mean that book. Same bent corner, same little oil stain on the edge. Same smell, like wet cardboard and iron. I don't even know how it got inside. I hadn't taken it with me. I thought I gave it away. I opened it. The pages were mostly blank. Except in the middle, there was a single line written in shaky ink. "Don't forget your own." No idea what it meant. My first thought was maybe my mom had written it. But the handwriting wasn't hers. Hers was big and bubbly. This was thin, spidery. Next day, I drove around town trying to see if I could find that guy again. Checked some of the churches, asked a couple old-timers. No one knew him. Nobody even remembered seeing him at the yard sale. Jackson swore up and down I must have imagined him. I tried to throw the book away. I really did. But it kept showing back up. Not like magic, just casually there on my truck's dashboard, in the bathroom cabinet, inside a cereal box, and each time there'd be a new line written. You saw it too. He's still reading. They remember you. I thought maybe someone was messing with me. Jackson maybe, or one of the neighborhood teens. But the handwriting never changed. And there were pages in the back, lists of names, addresses, even birthdays. None of them were mine, but some were local. I recognized a few. Then those people started dying. Heart attacks, car crashes. One guy shot himself in a Dollar General parking lot. All in a week. I tried to show the sheriff the book. He looked through it. He shook his head and told me it was probably just some cult garbage. Said there was nothing illegal about keeping a weird diary. Told me to get some rest. But the names kept appearing. And then mine showed up. Marcus 729. That's next week. I don't know if this is a threat or a warning. I haven't told anyone else. I started sleeping at my cousin's place a few towns over. I took the book with me, burned it in his fire pit. I watched it turn to ash. I know it was destroyed. But last night, when I opened my backpack, there it was. Not burned, not even singed. Sitting on top of my spare shirt, like it had been placed there gently. One new line inside. You can't give it back. I don't think the guy ever wanted the book. I think he gave it to me. And now I'm part of whatever this is. Whatever he was. I've stopped sleeping. I check the corners of every room, every reflection, every car that drives too slow down the street. I don't know what happens on 7/29. Maybe nothing. But I don't think I get to leave this story. Story 3. I'm Ian. I'm 28. I live alone just outside Spokane, Washington. Like, really on the edge of things. My house backs up to a tree line. And at night, it gets dark in a way that feels personal. You know what I mean? It's like the kind of dark that watches you. Anyway, this happened maybe 4 months ago. I say maybe because time feels kinda off lately. Like I've been stuck on the same day over and over, but the clocks keep lying to me. I wasn't looking for anything when I found it. Just driving around. There was this yard sale on an old farm road I don't usually take. No signs, no balloons. Just a table out front with a handwritten yard sale in pencil on a pizza box. Weird. But I stopped. The woman running it didn't say anything when I got out of the car. She didn't smile, just stood there, barefoot in the gravel, watching me like she was trying to place where she'd seen me before. Her hair was soaking wet. It wasn't raining. I should have left right then. I know that now. but there was this box of electronics, half covered by a sheet. I'm kind of a junk tech guy, so I asked if I could look through it. She nodded, still dripping, didn't say a word. I found a portable DVD player, the kind from, like, the early 2000s. Thick plastic, scratched screen, duct tape on the hinge. It had a disc already in it, no label. I held it up and asked if it worked. She just nodded again. Same blank expression. I asked how much. She said, "It's yours already." Not, "It's free." Not, "Take it." That exact phrasing. "It's yours already." I put a 20 on the table and left. The thing was dead when I got home. Battery shot. But I had a compatible charger from an old camcorder and managed to boot it up. The screen was cracked, but the disc started automatically. At first, it was just a video of a living room. Faded floral couch, old tube TV playing static. The camera was low to the ground, like placed on a footstool. No sound, just the hum of the TV. Then someone walked into frame. A man, mid-40s maybe, wearing only boxers. He looked exhausted. You couldn't see his face clearly, but his body was stiff, like every movement hurt. He sat down on the couch and stared at the camera for a long time. No blinking, no talking. Just watched. Then he smiled. Real slow, real wide. The screen flickered. You know that skip you get when a disc is scratched? That loud click and freeze frame? Except it didn't freeze on the man. It froze on the TV behind him. Static became an image, blurry, but unmistakably my house. My front porch. Exact color of the chipped railing I keep meaning to paint. I paused it, thought maybe it was a coincidence, a weird trick of the angle. But then the video jumped again, this time to a close-up of a doorknob turning. It was dark, but I recognized the brass handle. It was mine, my bedroom door. I stopped the disc, took it out, cleaned it, put it back in. Same footage, no menu, no credits, just surveillance. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I heard a creak, I pictured that man's smile, or the woman's dripping hair, or the doorknob turning just enough to hear the metal click. The next day, I checked all my doors, windows. Nothing broken. No signs of entry. I told myself I must have imagined the house in the video, like my brain was tricking me. That happens, right? 2 days later, I came home from work and found the DVD player on. I hadn't touched it. The disc was spinning. The screen showed my living room from above, like ceiling corner view, and me on the couch, asleep. I didn't record that. I don't have a camera in there. I live alone. When I stepped closer, the screen glitched. It zoomed in on my face, mouth slightly open, eyes twitching in REM sleep. Then it went black. I took the player outside, smashed it with a hammer, buried the pieces, drove 40 minutes in one direction, tossed the disc out the window on a back road. I didn't even stop the car. 2 days later, it was on my kitchen counter again. Clean. No cracks. Just sitting there. Screen closed. Like it had never been touched. I never opened it again. I don't need to. I already know what's on it. Now the lights in my house flicker around 3:17 a.m. every night. Exact time. No storm, no outages, just a short pulse, like a warning. Last night, my doorbell rang. No one ever comes to my place. It's too far out. When I checked the cam footage, the real one, the security cam I installed after all this, there was no one there. Just the porch and static. Like the signal got scrambled. This morning, I noticed a puddle by the welcome mat. Clean water. No footprints. No animal tracks. Just a long, wet strand of black hair.